Good morning everyone, welcome back to your beloved drawback chess speedrun. As usual, today we are climbing from 1700 to 1800, hopefully winning at least 2 out of 3 games. And without any further ado, let's get into today's content. First game is played at 1730. Scorched Earth, you can't move to a square that you've moved from. Reveal drawback to opponent. E4. Aha. I can see they are coloring my E2 square in red, which probably signifies that I cannot move anything to that square at this point. But the real question is it permanent though? Knight C6. So now I make my second move, let's hope E2 changes its color back to normal. It didn't. Okay, then this is a very problematic situation. All the damage done is permanent throughout the entire game. I literally only have one possible game plan. Win as fast as possible, E takes F5. The longer the game goes, the more unavailable squares there are on the board. And even worse, most of the unavailable squares will be on my side of the board, very close to my king. And of course I cannot even castle because it is physically impossible to put my king on one of the squares that my pieces were on. I have to win fast, and at the same time not letting my opponent has even one chance of coming closer to my territory. D5. Queen H5 check. I'll say we're up to a good start. He ran away. Knight F3. Knight F6. I cannot afford to play passively and retreat my queen. Full testosterone, let's go. This is where I prove my manliness, and then no one can call me a coward anymore, at least not in this video. He moves his king even higher. Bishop F4 check. D5. I'll take with the knight. He trades. Bishop takes. I already regret that. Should have taken with pawn so my bishop could reroute to another square. King C6. I'll bring in more pieces. This is very problematic. Even though his king is very exposed, I actually cannot see any possible checkmates. He takes a pawn. That is just wasting a move. Bishop B5 check. King B6. A4. Threatening A5 checkmate in one with a pawn. He defends it. His king is getting away. And now I don't know what to do. B4. Alright, my attack didn't work out. I'm sure I already lost this game. There are too many red squares. His king now can run away and there is no way to catch it anymore. Unless he takes my pawn. Ha! So instead of running away, he is actually challenging me to keep on attacking his fully exposed monarch and that he can absolutely defend my attack. And you know what? I actually think he is right. There is no way I can checkmate. But at the end of the day, there is nothing else I can do. Rook takes and I can't even bring the other rook out because there is no way to move the king out of the way. Not to mention there is also no available square to land the other rook on. Aha! I see. This is his drawback. I absolutely forgot that he also has a drawback, because pretty much all the moves have been so forcing from the beginning of the game. A takes B6. Which is the king. If you can capture a piece with a piece lesser or equal value, you must. Man. Just look at the difficulty gap. 1 win, we only need 1 more win. Second game, let's go. True love. Your king can only make moves that place it adjacent to your queen, and can't move if you don't have a queen. Your queen can only make moves that place it adjacent to your king. Reveal drawback to opponent. So this basically means I cannot move my royal couple, b3. Of course I'm not pushing any center pawns. Bishop b2. Bishop f5. Aha. My opponent obviously wants bishop takes e2, which actually wins my queen for free because not only I cannot take his bishop, my queen wouldn't even be able to move due to my drawback. d3. This is terrible though, I didn't want to push any center pawns. e6. Knight f3. Bishop b4 check. Push back, push back. Let's try to trade off a bishop. Queen d7. e3. He takes. I'll take this way. Queen a4. Aha. I cannot take his queen because my queen cannot leave my king, and even worse, if he takes my queen, my king wouldn't even be able to recapture because he cannot move if I don't have a queen. So I guess, knight c3. At least now I can recapture his queen with my knight, but honestly I doubt that he even wants to trade queens, as my queen is obviously restricted by my drawback, and his queen is probably not. He took a pawn. Rook b1. Knight f6. I can't just sit here and let him abuse my drawback. So in this position, I decided to make use of the restricted king. He castled his king instead. Bishop e2. He wants to trade. Of course I'm not trading, I already lost a queen. f3. Literally worst decision ever. 20 moves later that exact bishop delivered the fatal strike on my king, which I cannot capture due to my drawback, and then just a few moves later, I lost the game. My opponent played a very strong game, attacked me on both sides of the board because I cannot separate my royal couple. At no point in the game did I have any advantage whatsoever. But still, we have our third game. I have to win this or else this speed run is over. Edgelord must have at least as many pieces and pawns on the rim as your opponent. Absolutely horrifying. Reveal drawback to opponent. e4. For your information, the rim here consists of all four sides of the board, which means I pretty much can only freely move these 6 center pawns. e5. Queen h5. Aha. He moved his queen from one rim to another rim, which actually changed nothing. Therefore I cannot naturally defend my e-pawn with knight c6. We'll go for d6 instead. Knight h3. This guy is making it very clear that he wants to win the game by abusing my drawback. Of course I cannot take his knight because g takes h3 will immediately win the game for him as it breaks my drawback. g6 instead. Again, I can only freely move my 6 center pawns, need to lower his rim materials first before I can make any substantial development moves. He went all the way back to keep the queen on a rim. Bishop h6. For a moment there when I was moving the bishop, the g7 square was colored in yellow. I guess it signifies that I would lose the game if I landed the bishop on that square. d4. Aha. Now if he takes my bishop, for that one moment I will have fewer pieces on the rim than him. Therefore, I have to make the first capture. Queen takes. He takes d4. Both of us understand my drawback very well. This is going to be a very long and exhausting game. Never mind. I solemnly swear that this guy is not a paid actor. That blunders a woman. Knight g5. That blunders another horsey. Even a paid actor would have done better than this to hide his identity. And from this position, I can just use my queen to literally destroy his entire position. Because there is physically no way for him to win against my drawback anymore if I don't move anything else on my board. The difference in amounts of pieces is already too big for him to handle. Therefore just after a few moves, Queen e5 checkmate in 1. And then I take his king. At the start of turn 11, you must not have a queen, and your opponent must have a queen. But he blundered his queen on move 7 though. I have no idea, that was definitely a blunder, and as always, 2 wins and 1 loss. Drawback chess 1800 speedrun, 100% win rate.